It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
No, you don't love me.
Yes,
Don't touch me. Stay away from me. Close the door. Please close the door. I'm recording this. I'm recording this. Stay away from me. I do not touch me. Do not touch me. Do not touch me. You don't have any permission. You're holding me hostage against my fucking will. So please close the door. I don't want to take off and cause bodily damage to you, and then you have to say that I fucking. Please get away from me. Please get away from me. Hell, fuck no. What the fuck is wrong with you? Stay. You're disgusting. Stay away from me. Look, stay away from me. Please, I got shit to do. I got people to see. I got places to be.
Just come inside and do the couples therapy.
I don't have time for this.
Just come and do the couples therapy.
Look,
babe.
okay, I'll pull over. Move aside. Move aside.
You're not.
Close the fucking door.
I'll get in the car with you so I know
Hell,
you're coming.
fuck no. I'm getting anxiety. No, I'm not actually coming. What the fuck? Leave.
Come
What the
to
fuck?
the therapy.
Literally.
Give me a hug, babe.
I will call the cops.
Babe, please.
And I'll have them.
Give me a hug.
Look, I'm trying to keep you. I'm trying to look.
Why are you
look.
being like this?
Because I'm not babe.
You are, babe.
I'm not your boyfriend. I'm not your husband. I'm not your boyfriend. I'm not your husband. We're not engaged. Stay away from me. Stop. Stay away from me. Stay away from me.
You just choked me.
Oh, liar. You're choking yourself,
No,
you fucking liar.
No,
Stay
I'm
away
not.
from me. Stay away from me. I'm pushing you back.
That's why you conveniently turned the camera the other way.
Oh,
So
you
can
fucking
talk.
liar. You fucking liar.
Alright, so I've never had a TikTok, never posted anything, but I got a couple texts today that made me make an account just to make this story. It's a little story time right now. There's a TikTok that apparently has been going around pretty recently about dating in Utah and some of the craziness that comes with it. And I just started laughing because I was listening to the whole video, and as I was going through and hearing the story, it sounded a little too familiar. And as it turns out, I've actually, well, I don't even know if I consider it a date, but have gone on a date with this girl before. So I'll kind of give my version of the craziness of some people in Utah and some of the dating. So I go to the University of Utah. This was the beginning of this year. This was in February, so it was however many months ago, 7 months ago. And I was getting out of class one day, and this girl who we had matched and we had only exchanged like 2 messages back and forth had said, hey, and I look back and it's a little weird, but she said, hey, it's my birthday. Do you want to go out? And I was like, normally I would say no, because I like to get to know a person a little bit more before going on a date after that short time. However, I was already up in Salt Lake. She was in Salt Lake. And I was like, yeah, why not? So I end up meeting her. So I eventually picked her up. And when I picked her up, I was like, okay, well, what did you have in mind? Because she's the one who asked me. Keep in mind, I don't have a problem setting up a date. But, I mean, it was very last minute. And I had just asked her, well, what did you have in mind? And she didn't really have a very clear answer on that. Eventually, she came down to getting food. And this was the first major red flag. I look back, and one of the very first questions she said, okay, well, what kind of food do you like, and what's your budget? Which is not the kind of thing that you expect to hear on a first date. Someone, it just sounds like they're trying to get more money from you. And I said, for a first date, I don't like to spend more than $50 for me.
Which is more than generous.
Yeah, which is more than reasonable in my mind. I think going to McDonald's is great. I mean, everyone's fine with that.
Honestly,
but in my mind, that's way more than reasonable. And after I had said that, we passed by this restaurant. And keep in mind, this is just after I picked her up. And she said, oh, why don't we go there? And it looked pretty fancy. I've never been there before. And just based on the looks, I was like, okay, I'm going to look up the menu and see how expensive it is. The very first item I saw on the menu was $60. $60.
an appetizer.
Yeah, and it was an appetizer. It wasn't even an entree. And the restaurant's called STK. For those of you who know what it is, you know how expensive it is. I later found out from a friend who I was on a phone call with that I probably would have been out $400 if I had actually gone there. He's been on a work trip, and his steak alone was $150. So when this happened, I had mentioned her, and I was pretty nice about it. I was like, for a first date, I don't like to spend more than that. That's a little outside of my budget. Do you mind if we go somewhere else? And then she just goes silent for 30 seconds. And by that point, I hadn't even driven 2 blocks. But I clearly knew this just wasn't working out, so I started turning it around. And after 30 seconds of silence, I was like, I'll take that as a no. And she just starts yelling at me for no reason, and just yelling of, it's just my birthday. I just want to be treated right on my birthday, and this and that. And, I was pretty civil about it. And I was saying, I just was explaining that, for me, I just don't like to spend that much on a first date. That's just my preference. And as I was about to drop her off where I picked her up from, she said, well, the least you can do is give me $50. And that's the point where I was like, okay, I'm not going to be nice about this anymore. I was like, no, I don't owe you anything. I'm not going to give you $50. And get back to where I picked her up from, and kind of repeated the same thing. Just said, hey, this clearly just isn't going to work out. I'm just going to ask you to leave. And she wouldn't leave my car. She pulls out her camera, starts videoing herself, trying to talk to the camera about how poor of a guy I am and how poorly I was treating her and this, that, and the other. And I eventually step out of my car because I'm like, I don't know what this chick is going to use this video for. It gets to the point that someone across the street was just come out of a restaurant, and he was like, is everything okay? And I was like, I'm just trying to get this chick out of my car. I'm trying to leave. She gets out and tries to plead her case to this guy, and eventually that happens, and I immediately peel away. I was like, yeah, no, I'm done with this. Keep in mind, I was with her for less than 10 minutes total, picking her up, driving around, driving less than 2 city blocks and leaving. And then I just immediately block her number. I was like, all right, I'm done with this. I'm not dealing with that ever again. And then I get about a couple minutes later, I get a text from a different phone number. That's very clearly her. I don't remember what it said, to be honest. I deleted it and blocked that number. But this happened several times on my drive home. There's probably 3 different phone numbers, give or take, that I just kept getting paragraph-long text messages from her calling me out about how poor of a guy I am and how poorly I was treating her and whatnot. So I get home, and eventually nothing had really happened there, but I walk into my sister's room, and I was like, hey, I got a story for you. And she's like, perfect, I want some food. And I was like, sweet. So I went to some McDonald's, spent $10. Way better than $400.
I'm chill with that for a first date, to be
Way
honest.
better. Way better. Anyways, we're in the car, and I get a phone call from another number, and I was like...
And then I had an instinct to start recording this phone call.
So we have a recording. It was a 15-minute long conversation that I was just honestly more entertained by what was going on. Her just yelling the entire time. Super psycho. Anyway, so yeah, we were both in the car, and she's like, answer, I'm going to record it. So we've got this recording here.
And I'm staying silent for the first probably 7 minutes. Something
like that. And then, yeah, she just keeps coming out and just keeps yelling and trying to play the victim is the best way to put it.
Talking about her 70, what was it?
So yeah, just kept talking about how she had won a lawsuit against her ex of $750,000 lawsuit, and
just kind of bringing in random details that didn't really matter, like just because he didn't want to spend money on a date.
And kept calling me out for things that were clearly not.
She's screaming. Absolutely screaming.
Yeah, just screaming. And
talking about how she's a model and how rich she is, and she's like, I don't need your money, and like saying like, why are you calling me a gold digger?
All kinds of stuff. Anyways, realize that she's just crazy. So we kind of have this conversation and this video recording of her just to more for entertainment purposes, I think is the best way to put it. And eventually we hang up on her, and she keeps calling on, and keep in mind, every contact is a different phone number. She calls on several different phone numbers. I think we answered one other time, and it was just like 2 minutes and then hung up, and that was the last time I talked on the phone with her. But it was nonstop phone calls and text messages from her from all of these were different phone numbers. Got to the point I ended up calling the police department and reporting this because it was harassment at this point. And yeah, it just got to the point. Anyways, I gave the police department her numbers. All I had was a first name, so it was a little hard to figure out what really information about her. And I was like, wait a minute, where I picked her up was supposedly from her business. So as I go and look up some information and find her business license and find several other things about her, so found her full name and was looking at more information and just trying to find some more.
Just trying to figure out who she is so they can talk to the police.
Yeah, and just give them more, because I mostly was trying to find a last name.
Him. Yeah.
Just so I could give it to the police, so that they could figure out what to do with it.
As soon as he searched up her name, so much stuff popped up.
So much stuff comes up, and one of the things that comes up is a news article about her, and I was like, oh. Okay, part 2. So yeah, we looked her up, and there was a news article written about her, and which is, I think, speaks to itself that there's a news article written about you. And basically the whole news article revolved around a situation that she was talking about on the phone call when she was yelling at me. Keep in mind, she kept talking about how she was assaulted by a 45-year-old man at a tanning salon, which, I mean, I wasn't questioning it. It's sad that kind of thing does happen, but this news article is about this whole situation, and I'll give the rundown really quickly of what happened. So it was at the height of COVID here in Utah, where all businesses were requiring masks regardless of anything. It was a requirement to have a mask. So she had gone in this tanning salon and was refusing to wear a mask, and the employees were asking her to leave, and she began by yelling at them and exchanging words, and it was kind of back and forth from what it sounded like. There were some employees it was just kind of a confrontation there, and they just told her that she couldn't be there without a mask. It was a requirement by law. And so she eventually did leave. She came back later with a mask, but kind of resumed the argument. She kept yelling at the employees, and it was kind of, once again, a back and forth. And the article explains that some of the other customers that were there tried to intervene, and they were trying to intervene and kind of just ease the situation. So it said that one of the customers, he put his hand on her shoulder just to usher her towards the door, and she responded by punching him in the throat. And they eventually got her out, and they locked the doors. And then she called the cops and claimed that she had been assaulted.
So that's where that part of the story plays in.
Right. So that's where that part of the story plays in, and is her side of the story that was written by a news article. Is her side of the story is incorrect, and it even showed in police documentation and in the article there that cops had gone back and looked at footage and had interviewed people, and the only assault that was done was from her.
Yeah.
And it was funny too, because later in the article it talks that this whole situation happened 1 week prior to her already having a scheduled court date for a 3rd-degree felony, a hit and run, in which she had hit someone's car, and the lady had got out of her car to kind of confront her and see whatnot, and so she sped away to a different parking lot. The other lady followed her and got out of her car, and so this girl tried to run her over with her car.
Full speed at her, and she has several misdemeanor charges against her, so it's not just a... So, and this is what happens when you just Google her name when we were trying to figure out who she is.
Yeah, this isn't me just trying to exploit her. This is information that you can find publicly. It's not something hidden.
And I think it's
private.
comforting to know that this is happened to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully this girl gets the help that she needs, because it's really sad, honestly.
And to that point, like, we'll play a little snippet of one of the
part of the phone call.
Part of the phone call that we were on, just to have a point in case of really what it's about. And once again, to that point, the main point of this is I just want people to be careful.
Clearly, yeah, she has some underlying issues.
I'm not the only person this has happened to, so hopefully this will, along with other stories that have been shown and told, hopefully this can be more of a caution to those that are on just in the dating scene in
Yes.
Utah.
Okay.
So here's a clip.
It's fuck about me. It's all about you and everybody else. It's not my birthday or anything.
No, the
Never
difference-
even.
Like this guy
You're calling.
ruined my day.
The
It's
difference
not like he
is
ruined my birthday.
you're making
it's
this
not
about
like
you.
You guys are the ones that ruined my birthday. Like, I'm literally gonna tell my bishop about this. Like, this is so upsetting. Because
Do it.
it took me so long. It took me so long to date someone again. Like, they all know what I've been going through.
So why are you harassing a 25-year-old guy? Okay.
That's just one piece. Like I said, it was a 15-minute long conversation of her just screaming and
Got
yelling.
a little heated between all of us, but
And-
we did our best to keep.
But no, really the main point of this, is to a point. I'm not the only person this has happened to. I made this video because I've seen several people, well, obviously I've seen a case in which this has happened to somebody else. So it's really just a word of caution for people that know who she is or know people that know who she is. If you know someone that is trying to go on a date or happens to know her by chance, just be aware and be warned that this is not
Yeah,
the
and
kind
if-
of date or person that
And if she sees this, we truly hope you get help and find, I don't know the right words, just figure out like the things that you need to figure out in your life so it doesn't affect others' lives so greatly. So yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Hello?
I searched up the phone number and I found out it's still being paid by your mom.
What's that?
I searched up your phone and I found out it's still being paid by your mom.
Cool. And your point?
My point is, you're driving a Benz and that's being paid by your mom and dad, and you have
Actually,
the
no.
audacity to call.
That's not. I
Yeah,
paid for
and
it
you have the
in cash.
audacity to call me materialistic. You have the audacity to call me materialistic, and you don't even pay for your own phone bill.
How do you know I don't pay them for it? It's a family. It's a business plan that my dad has, and I'm on that because it's a cheaper plan that way.
You don't even pay for your own bill.
How do you know?
My parents passed away. Okay, I was raised old school by my grandparents.
Good for you.
Okay, I pay for all of my own stuff. I own cars. My cars are owned outright, okay? Your cars are being made payments by your parents,
That's
okay?
completely
I
incorrect.
own my phone outright.
I own my phone
all
outright.
my stuff outright.
I own all my car
I
outright.
own my stuff.
I have the title in my vehicle right now.
I own 2 vehicles
Good for you.
in my name, with the title in my name.
Okay,
So
question
call
here.
me
What?
materialistic one more time.
What?
And the thing is, yours is a Benz. Mine is at least useful cars that I use for business and for travel and nice, like. And you have a Benz. You're still making payments on it.
I'm not, but okay, I'm
Like,
glad you think
and you
that.
have the audacity to call me materialistic just because I have a Louis Vuitton bag.
Okay, I didn't. One, I didn't know you had a Louis Vuitton bag. 2, I did not call you materialistic at all. 3, why are you calling me still? I blocked you. What is the purpose of you calling me at this point?
The purpose
Just to
is
try to
because
prove
I'm
your point
upset
to me
because it's my
that you're better
birthday.
than me?
No, I'm upset because it's my birthday and all I wanted was to meet someone new and to be shown a good time, and that wasn't cool. I'm genuinely upset.
Because
you
I
don't
didn't
get
want
it.
to spend $200 on dinner when I told you I'm
No,
not.
why I'm upset. You're assuming. You are assuming.
You
me
were
based off of
upset
my look.
that I didn't want to spend that much money. I
No,
asked
I'm
you,
not.
I asked you, is
literally
it
got
okay
in
if
your
we go
car
somewhere
and I said,
else?
I'm along for the ride. I said, I'm along for the ride. I just want to be shown a good time. You live in Salt Lake City. I'm from Springville, Utah. You
I'm
go to
from
the
Riverton,
U.
Utah.
I'm here
I'm
for
not from
business.
Salt Lake
I'm
either.
here for business. You live in Salt Lake City.
I
And
don't,
you're
though.
trying to
That's
get me
the
to
funny
tell
thing.
you where to eat. That's the problem. You're not a man. You're not a leader. You weren't telling us where to go. I told you I was along for the ride.
Okay,
And then
so
you're
once
over
again, what?
here trying to put the accusation, accusing me and saying that I don't want to date you because you won't spend $200 on our first date.
Here's the
and I'm
thing.
telling you,
I
that
don't
the
want to
owner
date
of
you at
Usana-
all. Okay, so once again, why are you calling me? I blocked you. I don't want to talk to you. So why are you calling me? To prove a point?
He's literally paid me for like his modeling agency. He owns a modeling agency.
I don't
I
care.
met him in LA. I met him in LA at Beverly Beverly Hills, like
I
literally
don't care.
at the Hollywood red carpet events because I'm an internationally published model. That's how I met Jeremy Stanfield. And
So
he
what's
spent
the
40
point of you
grand
calling
trying
me?
to fly it all my friends.
Do you
trying
just want to
impress
prove a point
them.
that you are better than me? Because I don't care. You can say you're better than me.
I never
I
said
don't
that I was
care.
better than you.
Then why are you calling
said that
me?
by dropping me back home. You said that by
No,
dropping me back home
not
that
at
I was
all.
better than you because you were too insecure to even take me out and get to know me. If anything, my parents passed away. It's sad that you literally treat someone who's an orphan like this when you have mommy and daddy paying your phone bill.
You're so funny because you are the biggest liar. You're the one that is assuming things about me. I'm not making assumptions about you, but your assumptions about me are false and incorrect. And honestly, I don't care what you say because you are not the kind of person that I'd want to date.
Because you only care about money and materialistic values. You don't actually have any real values. You don't care about being a good person. You didn't care about showing. It's about me. When you take a girl out, it's about her. It's my birthday. How are you going to treat me like that on my birthday? And the first time you get to know me, you decide that you don't want to date me.
Okay, answer me this question. Answer me this question. Answer me this question. Why did you call me? I don't want you to beat around the bush. Why did you call me?
I told you this.
Why did you call me?
I told you many times.
No, you didn't. You just wanted to explain to
because
yourself
it's my birthday,
why you were so good. Why did you call me after I left? Why are you on the phone with me right now? What reason did you have to call me after I blocked your number and you texted me with 3 different phone numbers and this is the 4th phone number?
Birthday.
And what was your
And
point?
I have the audacity to disrespect someone who disrespects me. So I want to bother you and ruin your birthday. You ruined my birthday.
You're making this about you.
You guys are the ones that ruined my birthday. Like, I'm literally going to tell my bishop about this. Like, this is so upsetting. Because it took me so long. It took me so long to date someone again. Like, they all know what I've been going through.
So why are you harassing a 25-year-old guy?
I won a $750,000 settlement against my ex-fiance just a few months ago, and it wasn't about the money. I didn't even care about the money. I cared about the women. The women in Utah, that's what I cared about.
I have a question for you. Why do you keep bringing up how rich you are, how many cars you have, how much money? Like, no one...
He's the one that brought it up.
I did not.
I didn't care.
The only thing that was brought up was that I am not the kind of person to spend a lot of money on a first date.
Before you even took me on the date, before you even finished, I don't care how much money you spent on me.
He does not even know you.
I just want to be treated with respect. I just want to be treated with respect. Treated nicely. It's my birthday. That's all I wanted was a friend. Someone to treat me kindly. Someone to treat me nicely. And you couldn't do that.
I'm so sorry you're having a rough day, sweetheart, but you need to leave him alone. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing if you're not mature enough. If you're not mature enough to just...
He threatened to call the cops on me. He took me back home.
Because you would not leave my car. I asked you to leave my car so many times and you would not leave.
I could have driven with him for an hour to Ogden and back, and we could have had a great conversation, and I would have been happy. All I wanted to be treated with was respect.
The fact that you ignored me when I asked if we could choose a different restaurant tells me a lot about yourself.
That's not cool. I was assaulted by a 45-year-old convicted felon at the tanning salon.
Who asked? Who asked? No one asked.
Nothing about it, okay? They allowed the man to assault me after the 45-year-old convicted felon man assaulted a 23-year-old girl at the tanning salon, and he got away with it. Okay, that's not cool. And you said to call the cops on me.
I'm so sorry that happened to you. That's not chill, but why are you taking it out on a 25-year-old guy that doesn't even know you?
It's my birthday! This is how he treated me on my birthday! He deserves to know! How he treated me is not okay!
Okay, but you've told him for the past hour and a half you've been repeatedly harassing him, so why don't you leave him alone now, get over it, and go spend the rest of your birthday with your friends?
If this continues up, you know, there's a thing called a restraining order that I could put out.
I would love that. act. Most I could do was at least let you know how you made me feel, and you don't even care. You're just a straight narcissist about it. But at least I can let your sister know. Maybe she can help you change in the future and how you treat and respect women in the future, because this is not okay.
I hope
and
you...
at least I'm actually really happy that I got to talk to your sister, and it makes the difference for me. It really does.
Whose side do you think I'm
really
on?
Sorry, but
Yeah, you think if my
I'm sure you're
sister's
on your
gonna take
brother's
your
side.
side
I'm sure you're on your
when
brother's
she
side, but
knows
when
who
you
I
get
am?
older, you will understand.
I'm listening to you. I'm an adult, sweetheart. I'm an adult.
You're 18. I know.
So?
You are an adult. And even when I was 18, I didn't understand. I got
Okay,
engaged
because you're just
at
know so much
21,
more.
Okay? No, I don't know. I don't know I don't know anything. My grandmother's 87. She knows more than me.
You know nothing about me.
And I didn't listen.
You know nothing about me.
I know you.
No, you.
Listen.
What's my name? What's my name?
You don't know nothing about me.
That's why I thought your name is Bree. I know who you are. I've heard this whole story. So stop acting so immature and leave my brother alone. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing that you even have a brother that would treat a girl like this on her birthday.
Well, at least I have a brother that actually
Let
cares.
alone a business owner. Let alone a business owner.
No one asked it's a business owner. Why does that matter about who you are? That's not what you build a relationship off of.
The fact that you have such low self-confidence that you have to justify that by all of your accomplishments and that you're a business owner speaks that you really do need therapy. And if your therapist that you supposedly are seeing is telling you that you're okay.
Since I was 8 years old.
Okay, well, it's obviously not
I've been in
working for
therapy
you.
since I was 8 years old.
Okay.
Okay, just listen. If I'm so
upset
sorry, you're
because
obvious.
of the way that
Okay.
you treated me, and I know that I deserve better because I'm way more valuable than that.
I'm so sorry that you're obviously going through something and you feel the need to take it out on other people, but you need to leave us
Grow
alone.
up.
All right, I've got a couple thoughts just about the whole Bree situation, and since I posted my videos, and there's been quite a few people that have come out with their stories about the whole situation and things that have gone on in their experience with her, and it's unfortunate that things like that have happened. However, I do think, from what I've seen, there's been a lot of comments that have been hating on her, and in my mind, I think that's unfortunate. Yes, I had to go through one of these experiences, and yes, it's unfortunate that other people have had to go through it as well. But I do think that we shouldn't be bashing on her as much as we are, and as much as some people are, because she is going through things, and it's unfortunate that she is going through things. And honestly, I truly hope that she is able to get the help that she needs and she's able to work through things. But calling her out and bashing on her isn't going to make anything better. It really isn't. And I think we should just do everything we can. And it sounds kind of counterproductive, but I think we should do everything we can to support her and get her the help that she needs, because like I said, it's not going to make anything better, us calling her out, having rude comments about her. And it's unfortunate. Like I said, I've gone through this experience. I have firsthand experience with this, and it's unfortunate, but I truly wish the best for her, even though I was a part of one of these scenarios. And I just hope that each of you guys can do the same thing. Take a more lighthearted approach and try to do what you can to support her in getting the help that she needs, rather than bashing on her for everything she's done to everyone. It is unfortunate. And like I said, the whole intent of making and posting these videos was to just make people aware. It wasn't to bash on her and say how horrible of a person she is. It really is just to make people aware of what's out there. I think, one, to be careful with her, but also in the dating realm, to be careful as well. There's some unfortunate scenarios that go on out there, some unfortunate people, but I really do think we should have a more positive outlook on trying to support her and getting her the help she needs, rather than bashing on her and trying to talk down to her. It's just my birthday. I just want to be treated right on my birthday, and this and that. And
I guess you're forgetting the conversation we had when we drove by City Creek Mall and we saw Brio, and I pointed there and I said that I had gone on a date with Rudy Alfaro, the former G League player there, and I'm pretty sure that our meal was like $50. That's when you decided that you were done and you wanted to take me home. When we were by the City Creek Mall and I said I was down for Brio, and I had been on a date with the Rudy Alfaro G League player. That's when you decided to be a jerk. And yeah, who wouldn't want to be treated nicely on their birthday? Especially by the only person that they had told it was their birthday. You were acting like you didn't know the area. You were pressing me for an answer, and my answer was that I was passenger princess. I was along for the ride. STK house was random, and I had no idea how much it cost. Stay up though.
But she said, hey, it's my birthday. Do you want to go out? And I was like,
So he pulls up in a Benz and calls me off the phone his mom pays for. I get in and he asks me where I want to do, where I want to go. I said, I don't know, I'm just along for the ride, anywhere, I don't care. I'm just passenger princess, don't ask me, I don't care, I don't like that stuff. So then he keeps badgering me, pushing me. So I pointed at STK house because I'd never been there before, and I said, that just opened up. So he keeps driving, we're over by City Creek, and I pointed out that I went to Brio with Rudy Alfaro, the G League player. That's like $50, right? So he turns around and he takes me directly home, and he decides that I'm a gold digger. So takes me home, very rude, very disrespectful. That little girl, that 18-year-old girl that with that 22-year-old kid, they didn't even like listen, hear me out. They just screamed and hung up on me. But yeah, basically he called me a gold digger, and I was like, oh, but your mom pays for your phone bill, your daddy, that in your dad's Benz. I'm just a few years older than you. Both my cars are in my name. I'm a business owner. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, actually, my friends knew about that. You were the only person that actually I told it was my birthday. It was really upsetting because I literally told you that a new conversation could spark an idea for my business, and it really did dampen my mood, and you really did attack my mental health, and it really was my birthday. I turned 27, and all I wanted was to be treated nicely and with respect, and to have a new idea, a new conversation. But also at the end of the day, I know that I'm very valuable and that my value has no limits, and I don't like to be treated like such.
Get off the fucking car. Get off the fucking car. Get off the fucking car. It's not funny, dude. I'll talk to you later. Just get off the car.
I will make sure you guys talk. You guys can come to my house. I will trap you both in a room. You guys
Oh my god.
I killed my fucking daughter to be with you. I fucking killed her so that I could be with you. I killed her so that we could have a baby together.
Let's get down to business. We're gonna talk about all of the Utah drama right now. So let's get into it. So, let's see. There's the Secret Lives of the Mormon Wives, but let's be real, that shit is... We love watching it. It's like watching our neighbor. And then there's the ever so amusing drama of Miss Strawberry Blondie, Brie. Not gonna say her name because she's gonna try to sue me. Anyways, it has come to my attention that she has now shifted focus and is not about me anymore and is about a couple of other people. This Strawberry Blondie, she's quite the character here in Utah. I initially met Miss Strawberry Blondie through the bar that I worked at in 2019, and I actually ended up kind of leaving the bar scene because I got myself into trouble. I went to jail for using drugs. But we're past that. I work in addiction and recovery, and I'm very happy to explain why. I was going through a phase, and it was very serious, and I was blessed to go to jail. That's all we gotta say. I take full accountability. I gladly will say that I was partaking in doing some bad things with some bad people, and here I am today. But that's just the little itty bitty part of the story. So rewind. 2019, I worked at a bar called Button Up and Button Down. I met Bree through there. Nobody liked her. They always said that she was weird or she had a lot of drama or this, that, and the other. So of course I felt bad and I wanted to kind of befriend her because I felt bad. I'm not the type of person to just like jump on a train and be like, yeah, I don't like you either. Little did I know it would backfire. When I got out of jail, I was in between jobs and I was trying to figure out what my next steps were. So I think Bree had made a post, or I reached out to Bree at some point and said, hey, I know you're still working at the bar. Do you think they'd let me come back and just do like the bottle service? So I did for one single night. And the night that I did, I had picked Bree up from her house to take her to work with me. And I had told her exactly what had happened. She confided in me about some other things in her life, all the drama that was going on. And I should have known right then and there. Now, fast forward again. At this point, I had seen that she had made a post with Macon about, or a podcast regarding women's rights and being in the foster care system and how her parents themselves, and same old story all the time. On his post that he had with her, I had commented because in the bio it said, women, do you feel like this is accurate? And she basically said that women don't have the same rights as men do and yada, yada, yada. And so I commented back and said, I don't feel like this is the case for me, as I have plenty of rights. I don't feel like I am any way, shape, or form feel like I have less than a man does. She was not happy. She commented underneath my post and was like, is that why you this, that, and the other, and your baby daddy beats you, and you said this, that, and the other? And she said that I had slept with my old boss, which is 100% not true. She said that I had a relationship with him, and the reason I don't like her is because he started a relationship with her. Honey, I could care less if you had a relationship with him. He was just a nice person that helped me get my life together, gave me a job. That's it. She just kept going and going and going and going. Well, fast forward even more. I recently saw a video where she made a post about a gentleman that reached out to her through a LDS dating website and wanted to come get services for her himself and potentially date her. First of all, what kind of weird way of going about dating is that? Like, hey, let me come pay you to date me, basically. Nothing against you, buddy, but that's just kind of like an odd approach, you know? And then I saw a post that my friend had made regarding the whole situation and how she had her bouts with Bree too. And Strawberry. Anyways, this woman is a little lost, and I'll be completely honest, I blocked her after everything. I did everything in my power to keep her away from me. But hold on. Then I remembered I work in addiction and recovery, and I was like, you know what? Maybe she needs help. I'm going to extend my help to her and see what I can do. So I sent her a message and said, besides whatever hate we have for each other, I'd be happy to help you. Something along those lines. I wanted her to get help. No response, but like a month later, I got a call from her where she was slurring her words. She seemed like she was off. I said, are you okay? And she's like, oh, this is the wrong person. How's it the wrong person when you had me blocked, honey? I think she's past the part of helping. This woman needs some serious counseling. And it's unfortunate because she tries to use other people's problems against her. She'll try to sue me probably and everybody else in the state of Utah. She needs help. And the best way to do it, call this mamma jamma out on her bullshit. Seriously. She needs some real TLC on that up there. But just thought I'd put my 2 cents in just in case anybody else runs into her and sees her page and is like, oh my god, she's so cute. She's a wild little...
We shouldn't be bashing on her as much as we are.
Hey guys, so I made a video and for some reason it got taken down. So I'm gonna try to be real short on this one. So there's this guy right here is trying to encourage people to have a more supportive approach towards Bree, because he said that he had an experience with Bree as well, but you know, it's not really productive to send hate, you know, towards Bree, and that, you know, it's more helpful to have a more loving, supportive approach, because she's not mentally, it appears like she's not really mentally there. She needs a lot of mental help. Okay, so first off, I want to say that, you know, you spending 10 minutes in a car with Bree is not equivalent to other people's story where their whole life got turned upside down by Bree. Okay? Allegedly. So I don't really feel that because, you know, you put out 3 videos and you talked to her on the phone and she kept harassing you on the telephone, which you were still safe in your own car. I don't really think that you would be the spokesperson to tell people how the approach needs to be on handle the situation, like with Bree, and that we need to do this approach or whatever. Like, no, like, I don't really feel like it's your place to tell you the truth, considering you, yeah. And I've already mentioned that. So either way, there are people that do evil stuff because they choose it, and it has nothing to do with their mental health. A lot of people will use the mental health as an excuse to not take accountability, because when people do horrible shit, that why do you think they always try to plea insanity? You know what I mean? It's because they don't have to take fully, you know, accountability to say, oh, well, they just weren't all mentally there, you know, they got issues mentally. So no, there are people when somebody chooses something where they actively go out of the way to try to hurt somebody, okay, then that's evil, okay? And it has nothing to do, it does not matter what issues they have, it doesn't matter what their childhood was. You make choices, okay? And when people, you know, support a victimhood of people and they give people a pass because they're really good at playing the victim because they've worked before, okay, you're not helping anything. Okay, you're not helping the situation. And that's why things don't get brought to light a lot of times in society. It's because people give too many people passes. Accountability is the if you're showing love towards Bree, it's accountability. Okay? Allegedly. So I'm just saying, like, yeah, and then also people will play dumb as well, and they'll get away with the most horrible things, but they'll act dumb. Okay? It's like a pool shark. And when somebody knows how to manipulate and they know how to, you know, lie and do all these things, allegedly what is showing that Bree has done, they're freaking really, when she says she's educated, that's what she's freaking educated in. And when people, you know, when they operate that way in their life, they get better and better at it. Okay? And so accountability is the only option. And insanity, you know, oh, that person's not all mentally, no, that's not accountability. So really, there's no excuse. And there's no excuse for other people to support that approach by letting things just fall through the cracks because, oh, you want to be, you want to show love and support and all this. No. Anyway, that's it. You'll have a wonderful day.
We shouldn't be bashing on her.
No, absolutely not. If you haven't heard Courtney's story, I would encourage you to go watch Courtney's story. The thing is, people will do the most heinous shit and they'll blame it on their mental health. They will play the crazy card as a form of manipulation. Okay? So a lot of people will allow the most evil shit to just, you know, run through the cracks because they think, oh, well, you know, they have mental health issues. Absolutely not. There are people that choose evil shit. Okay? So now, what the things that she has done to people is not going to be pushed under the rug and people are going to talk about it. Okay? So anyway, you do you. I appreciate you posting the videos that you did, but that's not anything compared to what she did to Courtney. Okay? That lady is freaking dangerous. Bree Powers is freaking dangerous. She tried to run a woman over with a car. She tried to end her freaking life. If someone gets hit by a car, they die. So absolutely not. I'm not going to accept this pacifist attitude towards a psychopath. Absolutely not. Keep talking. Keep sharing your freaking stories. The word needs to get out.
Wants to serve you some eviction papers. Just a notice.
Eviction.
Just a notice.
It's just a notice.
Just saying. No, don't have to go right now. It's just a paperwork to sign.
Okay. But I also want to make clear that, because she did say that I threatened her earlier, and in this text message I said,
yeah, we went over that.
I said I'm scared for your safety, my mental issues, and how angry I feel towards you for betraying me, for lying to me, manipulating me. That was not a threat. I am in therapy right now, and that was just a warning that I did not want to speak with her in person because of how heated we both were. And I think that's very fair of me to ask someone. It's not a threat at all, and I want to make that very clear. But also, yeah, she can serve me with eviction notice, but I've paid my rent. She can't technically legally pay. I told you I did not want to talk to her.
Great, then don't. Then stop when we ask you to.
Don't yell at me. She's the one who started.
And I just told her to stop too.
Yeah.
So stop. You're still going. She stopped.
I'm the one that's minding my own business, working.
And you called us back in.
Yes, to talk to you,
Okay.
not to her.
Great, then stop talking to her.
I'm not talking to her. You're yelling at me, and I'm telling you not to yell at me.
Because you were just talking. Okay, I'm not going to go back and forth, Brianna.
Don't yell at me.
Well, then grow up and stop.
What's your name?
You got it right there, yes.
Okay, you're aware that I have mental issues, and I'm going to report to your officer that you're yelling at me.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
I think that's great. You have your attorney on the phone too. He heard it.
Yes, he did.
Yep.
Make sure.
So does she need to sign anywhere, or she just take them?
She can sign them.
I'm not seeing anywhere.
A copy. I sent her a copy in her email where she can sign him. She doesn't accept to. That's okay.
That's why we don't serve these things. Just give it to her and they can figure it out.
So I wanted to come on here on behalf of my sister, on behalf of my family, and share our experiences with Bree Powers. So just to start, it's really, really, really mind-blowing to me how many people have had these collective experiences with her. It's actually really disturbing. The videos that I've seen on here are inexcusable behavior, disgusting. She should be in jail. So about 3 years ago, my sister became friends with Bree's ex. She did not like that. She didn't like it at all. She started stalking and harassing my sister and my whole family, sending horrible messages. These weren't just like insulting messages, like, oh, you're fat, you're hideous, whatever. It was threats. She threatened to kill my sister. She threatened to stab my other sister. She messaged my grandma. She messaged my aunt. She messaged pretty much every relative that we had, saying really disgusting things. She at one point messaged my 13-year-old sister, at the time she was 13, about very inappropriate things, like pussy juice, and just stuff that you shouldn't be messaging a 13-year-old. My sister, of course, would block her on everything. We would block her on everything, but she would make different accounts. It was consistent. It was every single day. She messaged my sister on different phone numbers multiple times a day. How she got the phone numbers? Who knows? I don't know. She was sending her death threats. It was really, really, really severe. My sister could not change her phone number because at the time she had a business. She had hundreds of clients, and she's not going to inconvenience herself with changing her phone number. Like, that would change, it would just mess up everything. It was extremely inconvenient to change her phone number. So that was kind of the last resort that she came to. At the end of the day, it really just became her only option with changing her phone number. She had to change her phone number because it was completely stalking. It was completely stalking. This went on for years. This went on for years, even after my sister was no longer friends with her ex. It got so severe that one night she actually broke into the place that my sister was renting. My sister got home late one night. She didn't lock the front door. She forgot to. She got into the shower. She was showering, and then she heard the door open. Bree pulls back the curtains, and my sister is terrified. She's terrified. And Bree starts calling her names. She says, "You're fat and you're ugly." And she starts to try to fight her. It's so insane because this sounds like something from a TV show. Like, it sounds like something you would be watching, like in a cheesy early 2000s TV show. This is real. This is legit. She starts saying, you're fat, you're ugly. She tries to start to fight her. She actually attempts to assault her. My sister puts her arms up and basically says, I'm not going to touch you. Get out, get out, get out. So of course she got the police involved. Of course she filed charges, but a stalking injunction, if anybody knows anything about a woman filing a stalking injunction with the police, it's rough. It was really hard because she lived out of state. It was a super lengthy process. But basically, long story short, it's kind of a situation where if Bree contacts her, then she could get into huge trouble. She could get arrested. She could be charged. My sister moved out of the country for about a year. She still tried to request her Instagram while she was out of the country. And keep in mind, this is a time period in 3 years. This is 3 years, and my sister's not even in contact with her ex anymore. Like, she's that fucking mental. Also, before my sister put herself on private, put all of her, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, on private, Bree went through her whole friends list and messaged those nasty things to my sister's friends list. So it was like elderly old ladies, like neighbors from when we were, 12 years old, messaging my sister going, what is going on? Like, who is this girl? So it really sucks because obviously when you're stalked, it's like you're constantly watching your back, and it's just not something you really want to speak up on, especially on social media. So the fact that this is all happening now and sort of like trending and people are coming out is super, super important. And I really think if you have had an experience with her, you need to contact the police because she is very mentally unwell. It's not like a joke. I mean, she's very mentally ill. My own personal experience with her was basically me living, like, I live in California. I don't even live in Utah anymore. I live in California, and she would basically make fake Facebook accounts trying to contact me about my sister. It was crazy. And of course, my sister's like, screenshot everything. I'm trying to file a stalking injunction, whatever. It just sucks that honestly she hasn't faced any real consequences to my knowledge. Like, I don't really know exactly what's going on with her, but to my knowledge, she hasn't really faced real consequences. I mean, the TikToks that I've seen, the things that she's done, she needs to be charged. She needs to be behind bars. I don't know how she is out doing what she's doing. It does not make any sense to me. It's just really horrible too, because on my sister's wedding day, okay, she contacts her fiance on their wedding day. I don't know if she knew it was the wedding day. I don't know if it was a coincidence. She probably did somehow. I don't know. Basically sending her a TikTok video that she made about her, slandering her name. This is on her wedding day. She's getting her hair and makeup done, and of course she just has to come in and try to ruin shit. This is a very condensed version of the story. Like I said, it went on for 3 years. It's really scary, it's really horrible, and I'm sorry to anyone who has ever come in contact with Bree Powers because she's crazy.
To protect from the UV light that is processing the gel, and then this is a gel that's vegan. And then I just place this in her mouth.
And is it in a tray? It's the gel is the whitening gel, goes in a tray, and then she just bites down on that?
Yes.
And so this is all in the office, right?
Yes.
Being done, or can you do this at home?
There you go. You come to the location and you do it there.
Haley, you didn't know that you would be doing this, maybe. It's okay. You're going to have whiter teeth by the time you leave.
And then what do you put on her now?
So now I'm applying the gel to the teeth. And
oh, okay. And then ultimately you have that little light that will shine that on and start the lightening process. Okay, when I think about teeth whitening, one of my big questions is, will it hurt? Will teeth be sensitive after?
Yes, so it will not. You can eat immediately after your results. And because mine is vegan, okay, that's what I'm asking for is proof. Yes, I do. You're saying you're drunk. You're changing your story. You're saying you just Googled the intake from 2021.
He said you're a fucking cracked out whore, so guess what? You're a cracked out whore.
Okay, I've never taken crack in my life, but you're drunk. I'm sober. I'm a business owner, and it sounds like you're at a party drunk. Rosalie personally kicked you out of my home. And I'm asking you for proof that she's alive, and all you're doing is threatening me, so... Okay, and? I'm asking you for the emails. I just explained to you I'm trying to provide closure to me and all of our friends. Okay, where's the proof? I'm asking for the emails. You're all you're doing is threatening me. You can't provide proof.
She's our sister. So what do you need proof from?
Yeah, she's my sister too. She kicked you out of my house.
Then what's she talking about?
She kicked you out of my house.
I don't care if she's in your house or whatever. She's a crackhead. She's not your sister. I'm her sister. I'm her oldest sister.
So where's the proof that you've seen her and talked to her and that she's even alive?
Yes, I seen her.
When? Where's the proof?
I emailed her in jail. Yes, she was in jail.
Okay, can I see those emails? That's all I'm asking for. Why?
It's a lawyer. You know what you need is a lawyer, bitch. You need a fucking lawyer.
So you're just claiming things and you have no proof to back it up.
We're gonna sue your bitch ass. Bye. Hang it up on that fucking bitch.
Push me to the edge.
I know that they found her dad overdosed on somewhere in fucking California because he was like a homeless junkie, and they found her mom dead in some shitty ass motel in I think New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada. Who fucking knows? I can't remember all the fucking exact detail about her stupid parents. But, yeah, they both died. They ruled her mom's death a suicide or an overdose. Because back then it was like, you know, controversial. So they didn't want to do the overdose in the hotel. Bree was with her mom. Her mom was a prostitute, junkie, one of those, like, you know, heroin junkies. So, yeah, the mom was a junkie, the father was a junkie. Her mom lived with her friend. Bree lived with her mom in that shitty ass motel, doing drugs. Her mom was doing drugs when she was pregnant with Bree. That's what her grandma and her aunt said, that she was basically born defective. Because, you know, the drugs that her mom was doing while she was pregnant with Bree. Bree was always a troubled child. Bree, I think her father died when she was like 10. It's like, you know, it's like not like she ever lived with the guy. She never probably knew the guy. And, you know, one day they tell her, oh, your dad is dead, you know, because she was basically... Her mom dies. Her dad doesn't want her. He's a junkie homeless person who can't take care of her. So she went to live with her grandma. One, she tried killing her grandma. Suffocated her grandma. A little poor lady. Tiny lady with a pillow over her face. So she tried to kill her grandma, but before trying to kill her grandma and moving in with her grandma, she went with her so all her aunts and uncles on her mom's side, none of them wanted her. So she ended up at her grandma. There's a long story there. Her dad's side of the family never wanted her. At that time, her dad was still alive. So she goes to live with her aunts somewhere in California. You know, starts to flirt with the guy that she's married to, yada, yada, yada. Long story short, Bree was sexually, you know, promiscuous from seeing her mom being a prostitute and all, you know, and talk about sex toys and shit like that on the dinner table in front of her young son. Then Bree rapes her cousin, you know, some young boy. He was younger than Bree. So Bree was young, a minor, raping a younger child because, you know, she was a daughter of a fucking prostitute. What do you expect? So then her aunt was like, I can't take care of her, da 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 da. She sends her to one of her sisters in Utah. The sister can't deal with her because, you know, she's mentally fucking ill and there's something wrong with her. The Utah aunt, her husband is a therapist. He's the one that first found out that there's mentally, that Bree is mentally ill. So, she wasn't in the foster system at that moment. So, they went and admitted her into, like, you know, one of those, like, you know, whatever, crazy loony bins for, like, children and shit. So, yeah. Her uncles, her aunts, on her mom's side, the one in Utah, her husband had to actually sit on Bree to restrain her, like he sat on her with his whole body to restrain her because she was hitting him and hitting his wife, her aunt, and, you know, terrorizing the whole household. So he had to sit on her until, you know, that mental institute and the cops showed up, obviously, to restrain her, to take her to that mental institute where she was admitted for her mental illness. I found out all that later after I broke up with her from her family. Her whole family loves me, by the way. So now that she's in the mental institute, yada yada yada, she, you know, manipulates her grandma. Her grandma is old and she, you know, they convinced the whole family, you know, after she said that her uncles, her aunts, on her mom's side, nobody wanted her, da 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 da. So now she's like, okay. The grandma's like, hey, I'm really old and da da da, I can't take care of this child, but you know what, I'm gonna fucking try. She takes him, bro. Now it's a huge mistake because she starts terrorizing her grandma, beating up her grandma, throwing the food on the ground, like destroying the whole fucking kitchen. Throwing fits because she wanted to use certain things. She wanted to dress like a fucking provocative little fucking whore slut when she was underage with her grandma. And her grandma wasn't gonna have it because she's a conservative fucking Mormon and she doesn't want her fucking granddaughter dressing up in a fucking tube-top dress, short fucking dress, in a Mormon fucking Springville. You know? So what do? They tell her no. She throws her fit. I think she would fucking beat her up because she wants to listen to some certain music on the radio while her grandma's driving. Her grandma says no, she doesn't want to hear that music, and she fucking beats her up with grandma. She would attack her grandma like so many different ways. She put rat poison in grandma's food. She picked up the pillow her grandma was taking a nap in the middle of the day. All sorts of shit. So the pillow was the draw case. That's when the grandma was like, hey, I can't take care of this child. They put her in foster system for a couple fucking years. Then, you know, they took her out and all, you know, it was like some fucking crazy ass shit show. Her grandma always felt bad for her. So Bree would always manipulate her grandma to, you know, get her to fucking pay her, like to pay her rent, her car note, all sorts of shit. Her grandma is a really sweet old lady, like probably like 90 years old right now. This old fucking lady works as a fucking librarian at the library in Springville. Like in the little town fucking library. You know, and she lives off Social Security and pinches every fucking penny, cuts every fucking coupon, saves every penny. Her children help her financially, yada yada yada. And Bree fucking takes advantage of her grandma to this day. You know, her aunts are actually trying to get her committed. So basically, right now they're suing, basically trying to get Bree institutionalized or some shit like that. They're trying to get her committed in a mental institute and basically make her like incompetent or something to get her declared by a court. and basically take away her freedom, put her in an institute, basically to get her away from her grandma, because basically she's sucking her grandma dry. Her grandma, you know, is fucking, you know, like is struggling financially because of fucking Bree. And Bree keeps guilting her like, oh, you never helped your daughter, and your daughter died. So basically, since you didn't help my mom, and you want the same thing to happen to me that happened to my mom, so if you don't fucking help me, my mom's gonna you know, I'm gonna basically see the same fucking fate that my mom had, you know, when. So basically, she manipulates her grandma, On her dad's side, nobody wants to do anything with her. Like, you know, her uncles are hi-fi. I met one of her uncles. He's like actually a really fucking nice guy, sweet guy, or amazing guy. You'd be shocked. That was her uncle on her dad's side. Yeah, the one, I think he lived in New Mexico. I met him when she was doing her abortion, her illegal abortion, which she actually left the state as a Utah resident, broke the Utah law, and flew to another state. When I compared her, I never fucking reported her while she was doing all this shit to me. I never actually fucking opened my mouth. I could have went to the state's attorney general's office, said, hey, I have these messages, I have these photos, and this person was like 7 to 8 months fucking pregnant, got on a fucking flight, and went to another state as a Utah resident, and broke the Utah law, and fucking had a legal abortion. And I never did that. She terrorized my whole family, my sisters, my mom, you know, everybody in the whole fucking family. So long story short, her parents did not commit suicide. Her father died as an overdose in California as a homeless bum on the street. Her mom died in a shitty-ass fucking crackhead, shitty-ass fucking motel with Bree living with her. You know, so that is all. So basically, mom is a junkie, dad is a junkie. They all fucking died tragic deaths, but not self-inflicted, like she keeps saying on social media. So yeah, she was telling everybody that her parents committed suicide. That's totally untrue. Her father died overdose, homeless, bum, on the street. Her mom died as a fucking crackhead, prostitute, at a shitty crackhead motel in some other state. Her father in California, I think her mom was in New Mexico or some other state, some backhanded motel, shitty ass motel, with her pimp, living with her pimp. Bree said it was her pimp / boyfriend. So Bree was basically aware, you know, so basically she told me some of these stories about, you know, the things that she's seen as a child. No child should see that. That's why I put up with a lot of her shit. I put up with her. I felt bad for her. I wanted to help her. I guess you can't save somebody that doesn't want to be saved or is in denial or is a pathological liar, because to be honest, that's a story that she fucking told me. But guess what? Who knows? It's a fucking one of a million fucking stories that she's said. Who knows what's the truth? This is a version, but like I would always ask her, like, why would you, you know, tell everybody, like, what did you just say that you're, you know, like when she's like, oh, my mom committed suicide. I'm like, I'd look at her and like, oh, what the fuck, why you just said that? Like, it's not that, like, she didn't even need to say that. Like, it would just come out like Like, you know, hi, how's the weather? You know, oh, it's good, you know. Oh, what did you have fucking for dinner tonight? Oh, nothing, you know, much. We ate at this restaurant. Oh, yeah, by the way, my mom fucking committed suicide. The most randomest fucking conversation topic. She'll, like, throw, my mom committed suicide. My father committed suicide. My mom was murdered. Like, my mom was murdered. My mom was brutally murdered. Shit like that. And the cops are corrupt, and, you know, they knew the guy that killed her, and that he fucking, you know, basically, they covered it up because, you know, nobody cares about a fucking crackhead whore, and she'll be saying shit like that, and I'm like, what the fuck, why are you saying shit like that? Like, you know, and it's like, it's an unsolved murder. You know, like, there's, like, so many different fucking versions of the whole fucking story. But what she told me between me and her, that her parents basically died of overdose. Both of them. So, yeah, that is all.
Everyday people.
Day and night. For some women, it can start working in as early as 1 week.